And how's it going, everybody? It's Skullzi here again. Hello, Todd Howard. Yes, I am at it again to try to summon the Elder Scrolls 6 myself, because I am getting tired of waiting for it, Todd. My last attempt at summoning the Elder Scrolls 6 didn't go so well. Hopefully this time goes a little bit better. And all jokes aside, I have a lot to talk about today. I have some more updates to that Elder Scrolls 6 supposed short video leak, that like 7 seconds of alpha footage that looks like it could be credible, also looks like it could be crap, probably is crap, but I have some more information that actually supports this leak. It actually gives it a little bit more credibility, and this information comes from people in the community, so that's pretty hype. I have some actual more confirmed and actually confirmed information regarding the Elder Scrolls 6 and where some of its actual photo scanning for the in-game assets was taking place. And of course, I'm going to be wrapping up any of the most recent Bethesda news, rumors, and speculation as well. I took a day yesterday to let that Elder Scrolls 6 supposed leak sit, because if I was going to cover it in another video, I only wanted to do it one more time because I don't want to like milk this Elder Scrolls 6 leak to death. I want to talk about it in the less amount of times as possible, that way it doesn't seem like I'm trying to just get as much content from those 7 seconds as possible. But either way, let's not waste any more time and get to today's information. But first, I want to waste some of your time. I'm wearing my BS Capacity Meter t-shirt today, and you can get your BS Capacity Meter t-shirt to let everyone know that your BS Capacity Meter is always running at 0% over at Teespring, over at Loot Drop, the official Skullzi merchandise site, where you can get the official Skullzi merchandise. Just look at this! Look at this one! Look at it, I said! Buy it! But first, I want to begin today's video right here with this comment by AF. So thank you, AF, or whatever you want to be called, but AF actually points out, along with a bunch of other community members, some pretty interesting things regarding this leaked footage here, and most importantly, these random numbers over here in the lower left, because I asked you what those numbers could mean, and some of you with experience with the previous creation engine, or I guess the current creation engine, and some of you who have actually made mods told me what these numbers most likely mean. Before I get to AF, Joe Carter actually said that the best indicator that this leak could be legit is the form ID on the bottom left, because in the creation engine, form IDs for world spaces are a 7-digit sequence that follows the convention you see here. If this leak is not legit, it was at least made by someone familiar with the creation kit, and of course, I guess if I was to fake a leak, if I was some kind of person that randomly wanted to do that for some reason, I would learn how to use a creation kit, because the more, I guess, work and time you put into a fake leak, I guess the better it would look. And that's what I said in the last video when I talked about this. Even though there's some credible stuff regarding this leak, we have to assume that these leaks are at least fake at best, and anything regarding whether or not they could be real is speculation anyway. So even if the speculation regarding the leaks being legit is pretty credible, it's still speculation. So at best, the leak has to be considered fake, if only somewhat plausible. But this information makes it a little bit more plausible, according to Joe Carter. And like I said, AF also said some more interesting things as well. They say there are several factors that legitimize this. The rocks took a similar style to the photogrammetry rocks that we saw them scanning in the Elder Scrolls 25-year anniversary video. The top number looks like a cell number in the creation engine. Grass rocks light could be the grass in the creation data, which was used both for grass and small rocks in Skyrim, so likely the same thing here. And that would explain why it's so empty, because they're testing the grass and rocks for this location, and that is the point of this footage. And the bottom number would be an asset ID specifically for inside Bethesda Game Studios. They say the Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall thing that you can see over there, the ESVIRF thing, is a bit weird, but leaks have shown before that Bethesda does get a bit careless with such things sometimes, so it could still be them, and this could be footage that was intended to be viewed by someone who doesn't know the code name, like seeking assistance from another studio or company as proof of progress to someone in Microsoft, or maybe to get some help with some sort of optimization or just work in the development pipeline of TES 6. And that's an excellent point that AF brought up here, and that's why I wanted to bring it forward in today's video, because I was kind of wondering why like they would even have the ESVIRF on there, because most of the time a company, if they would even put the name of the game in its early state in their footage like this, it would be the code name of the game, and every Bethesda Game Studios project has had a code name before. I doubt they would just put TES 6 Redfall on there in their early alpha footage, but AF brings up a great point that this footage could have been meant from someone outside the company, which actually kind of makes more sense if you think why this footage was leaked in the first place, because I would expect someone from outside of Bethesda Game Studios to leak footage if they got access to it, rather than a Bethesda Game Studios employee themselves, and often enough, that's usually where leaks come from. They come from someone outside of the main company who is usually testing the game or doing something like that. Someone contracted outside of the company, or someone that somehow got access to this footage accidentally. My glasses make my eyes look so big, and you can see here that a lot of people in the community have been saying that they believe the rocks in that little 7-second leaked TES 6 alpha footage, or supposed leaked footage, looks very similar to, like the previous person said, like AF said, the photogrammetry scanned by Bethesda in the 25th anniversary video, and that footage was directly related to the Elder Scrolls 6 development process. That's not anything to be speculated over, that's confirmed. This picture is from TES 6 development, and some people even go further to say that this rock in this TES 6 scan here is the same rock in the 7 seconds of this footage, only the color was changed and the rock was cropped. And I don't quite see that, to be honest. I looked at this and I would love to say, oh wow, it's the same rock, this confirms everything, drink a bunch of skooma, let's go, but I don't think that's the case. The rock doesn't look like it's the same unless, like some people said, they cropped this large rock and took only portions of it, kind of sticking up from the ground here, so that way the rock would be a smaller rock and not a gigantic boulder. And of course it would be easy to change the shade and tone of the color of the actual rock that was scanned and implement it looking a little bit differently into TES 6, but either way we do know that photogrammetry is going to be used for the Elder Scrolls 6, and this rock in the 7 seconds kind of does look like some photogrammetry was used. Although Bethesda aren't the only ones with access to photogrammetry like this, other people could have easily maybe done something like that on their own time to add more credibility to this leak, or this rock could be some kind of unknown asset that no one has identified yet. But either way, you can see there's actually some evidence that the community themselves discovered to help give this leak a little bit more credibility. But like I keep saying, consider it speculation. This does not confirm this leak. There's something in my eye again. Todd Howard is attacking me using magic. Should I run? Should I run? But either way, let's move away from speculation, because the community actually discovered where this actual photogrammetry scan was done, and this actually lends some somewhat confirmable information towards the Elder Scrolls 6, because the region in which it was scanned from can give us an indication into the style of biomes and awesome diverse landscape that we could see in the Hammerfell portion of the Elder Scrolls 6, because a lot of the community believes that Hammerfell will be in TES 6. I believe it'll be both High Rock and Hammerfell, but either way, this is what I want to talk about. First of all, huge shout out to Seamusin. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but huge shout out to Seamusin over at the Skullzi Discord server, which you should join, by the way. There's links down in the description below, because a lot of discoveries like these are made, but you can see that the photogrammetry actually took place and was discovered in a place called the Valley of Fire in Nevada. And you can see these are the imageries, the imageries, whatever, of people in that place. And I believe some Bethesda employees, including Emil Pauduro, also took selfies in this region. And then here's some other pictures of the region as well. You can see it looks somewhat high fantasy, even though it exists in the real world. And if Hammerfell was to look like anything at all in terms of desert high fantasy, this kind of gives me the feel, or the feels, that I believe it would look like, and that gets me hype. The hype's assuming direct control, so thank you for this discovery, and I'm super hyped to see what the Elder Scrolls 6 actually looks like. But this is confirmed, because this is legit where the photogrammetry was taking place from Bethesda Game Studios employees, and these images are confirmed to have been utilized in the development process of the Elder Scrolls 6, so I'm saying chances are almost exact that we will see stuff like this in the Elder Scrolls 6 in the Hammerfell region of the game. Moving on to the next thing, moving on. ZeniMax Studios and Bethesda and all of their subsidiaries such as Arcane, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, all those awesome developers, Tango, I feel like I have to name them all, otherwise I do them a disservice, but either way, all of these awesome ZeniMax and Bethesda Studios have been added to the official Xbox Discord. And while this seems like low-key nothing in itself, the fact is this is somewhat of an eventual necessity, and the fact that it's happening before the official verdict has been made by the EU or Japan or America regarding the buyout between Microsoft and Bethesda, before that was all finalized, it seems like Xbox is kind of taking things in their own hands and somewhat finalizing things behind the scenes. Now, this isn't anything really to talk about, to be honest, but a lot of people have been tagging me in this, and it is interesting that Xbox and Microsoft are confident enough to do moves like this. Of course, if it was denied for some reason, they would just as easily remove these, but I don't think it's going to be denied. The EU already basically confirmed it and are waiting for other companies to put forward their, like, denials or whatever, but I don't think that's going to happen either. If the EU approves it, Japan will probably approve it, America will probably approve it, and by March 5th, we should have this completely finalized and see what the future holds for Bethesda and Microsoft's future partnership together. And maybe some more Starfield news, I hope. I hope. Why are my arms doing this again? Next up, Google Stadia General Manager and Vice President Phil Harrison said that Microsoft buying Bethesda was somehow a factor that made Google choose to close its own Stadia Studios, and I don't know about that, especially because Harrison was nice enough to praise his staff, and then 5 days later lay them off, which most of them only learned about from Kotaku. So, super shady Phil Harrison seems like he's probably just trying to use this Microsoft and Bethesda thing as a scapegoat or something, because you know how everyone is. There's so many people out there that hate Bethesda regardless of what they do, and Microsoft regardless of what they do, and I'm thinking he's just betting on using that hate as kind of a deflection, because apparently he loves deflections, or at least doesn't like to stand up behind his decisions and would rather hide behind shady practices. So Phil Harrison, you suck. I don't believe that the Microsoft and Bethesda deal is actually a factor here. I think that you're just trying to scapegoat it. But either way, let's move on to the next thing I want to talk about in today's video and not give shady McPhilly Harrison sad boy any more attention. Next up, developers from Playground Games, which are an Xbox dev studio, says that Microsoft won't cancel the PS version of Bethesda's upcoming games, or at least the games that are still in development or were in development during this Bethesda and Microsoft purchase. His exact words are, "The studios were already in their development cycle, and this is a message that Microsoft communicates all the time low-key. They're not suddenly going to stop the development of a PlayStation version, for example. If a game was in development to be cross-platform, they're not going to say it's now Xbox exclusive. They're in a long-term strategy, and they don't want to expressly take away from a community because they bought the studio." And I guess this makes sense, at least for the games that already had a PlayStation version in development during this purchase, like Starfield for instance, or maybe even the Elder Scrolls 6, although that's a lot less likely. Any game that was currently in development during this purchase agreement probably won't be fully Xbox exclusive, but I still wouldn't take away from the fact that it could be timed exclusive for maybe a year or so. Either way, it's interesting to see actual first-party developers from a Microsoft studio talking about Microsoft probably not making Bethesda's current in development games be Xbox exclusive. But either way, that's everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. As always, if you enjoy the content, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn notifications on. And if you want to help grow the channel, be sure to share the channel, share the video, share the content, get people to subscribe, because the YouTube algorithm really only pays attention to channels underneath 100,000 subscribers. So my channel's been growing a little bit slowly. However, since I've been asking you all to share the content, it's been growing a lot faster. So huge thank you, it is much appreciated. And speaking of appreciation, huge shout out to these amazing people for going above and beyond to bring you content like this. If you want to get your name added to this list and get a permanent future video shout out from this point forward, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when a new Elder Scrolls 6 leak drops, and this one's legit. It's like a 30-minute gameplay video footage, and I should break it down for you all, but I just suddenly feel like going to Cancun. My bad.
It just works.